Hey everyone, what's up? This is Vin from No Hits TCG, and I just was in the Top Cut Online Regional with LIM, and I went 8 and 2, so I placed 39th. A little unlucky, I didn't get top 32, but I was actually pretty happy with how I performed with LIM. Surprisingly, like I didn't really have any expectations going into this. I was kind of like unsure whether what to even play for this regional, so I just thought Lim was like kind of interesting to play. Pretty fun. You just spam bodies and you just swing. Kind of one of those simpler decks, and yeah, it was actually pretty good. I did lose a lot of my dice rolls, like most of them. I did lose round one. I versed a Zoro round one, and I didn't see my pieces, but it is how it is. And I lost to a GP Luffy. I only versed two, surprisingly. There's a lot of other decks, I guess, to combat GP Luffy, but I only versed two of them, so I did get pretty lucky there. Who knows if I versed more GP Luffys. But I guess going into my deck list right now for Lim, so I'll go over the core of the deck first, I would say. Of course, you do have four of the one cost Lim, where just you do have the once per turn effect. It doesn't really go up too often, maybe just against like Luxi, but like if the character were to be removed from play by an effect, by opponent's effect, I can rest one of my Odyssey type characters instead, so I can just rest her as well. But for the most part, I use her for her end of turn effect just to set one of my Odyssey type characters as active, including herself. So it is actually really vital to see, especially if you're going first. I feel like for the one cost, this is like the super important one to see, but you do have other one costs that you want to see anyways. Like any sort of one cost is fine, as long as you have something out. Just so on your 3 Dawn, you could do your leader ability to have like a character with an ability of some sort. Like let's say play your one cost Lim. Next, I think one of the most important cards of this deck is Edward Newgate. If you don't see him for a lot of the matchups, it's pretty rough. Just like his on play is, if you have two or more rested characters, that's for the most part every Odyssey character here. You just rest opponent's character with a cost of 5 or less, and then KO a rested 3 or less. So it's actually such a good card, especially if you can just play it on 3 Dawn or 4 Dawn if you're going second, just for that insane tempo play. Especially against like Lucci, where if they're going first, they play a Brook, and if you've on 4 Dawn, if you have like a one cost and a Newgate, you could play that one cost, and then afterwards you could do leader ability to play your Newgate to rest and KO that Brook. So super important to see. One of the best cards early on in the game, especially also against Zoro. I lost round one because I didn't see any new gates early on, so he was just able to see all his choppers. Like if I was, and he went first as well. So if I was able to establish like a new gate on 4 Dawn and just pop his chopper, then that would have changed the game so much. But it is how it is, you know. Can't find it all the time. For the other 5 cost is Doflamingo. He's just a blocker, but really good, especially against GP, where end of turn effect, if I have 2 more rested characters, I can set this guy as active. So he can't really Luna me efficiently, especially if I do have the 1 cost Lim and Doflamingo on board, just so I can just keep on restanding like the new gate with Lim, and then I can restand Dofi for himself. So this is really good. I don't really play it early on too much, since it doesn't really have like an effect that I can like use to like clear board or gain card advantage. But I really like him like later in the game. But against GP Luffy, I do want to see him. Do want a mulligan for this, and another card. I guess mainly for him and Lim, just so we can just keep on restanding and avoid Luna, since Luna is just so annoying. Next is 5 cost Mihawk, where just as on play, if I have 2 more rested characters, I can set an Odyssey type character with a 5 or less as active. So basically just restanding another character or restanding himself to swing again. So a second swing. I did do against one of the GP Luffy's, where I did swing like 9-9. So it was pretty nice. He wasn't able to counter too efficiently, but he's mainly more so used for like the later game, have that potential extra swing to go for lethal. But that's his main purpose. So typically you don't really want to see him in the beginning. Maybe against GP Luffy, if you want to go like super aggressive, like on 6 Dawn going first, you can play like a Dofi, and then swing 5 with leader, swing 9 with Dofi, and then play Mihawk with leader ability and swing 9 again. You could do that. It just kind of depends because not all the time is that really a good choice to do. It's just it can be risky still. Anyways, 6 cost Sakazuki, where if I have 2 more rested characters, I can KO at 5 or less. So he's really good for just for extra tempo. And when you are either going second, you can play him on 6 Dawn, or if you're going first, you can also play him on 6 Dawn when you leader ability. Um, or you could do it when you go to 9 Dawn, you can play Sakazuki and then leader ability for like another 5 cost. That's like super efficient, I would say. Since if you're playing him on 6, you can't leader ability to get to an extra Dawn. So yeah, I would say, especially like going for like 9 Dawn turn, really good to play him. But there are of course times when you do have to play him earlier on 6 Dawn. It's okay if you can't get the extra Dawn for a leader ability, but of course efficiently you do want to see him on 9. But for GP Luffy in particular, if they do see stage early, then it kind of sucks since you can't pop their Songjin Pudding. But if they don't see stage, then this card is so good, it just destroys their Songjin Pudding. But that's if they don't see stage and they search a lot, so most likely they will. But just keep that in mind. I guess you could pop their Zoro as well though, since they would rather have the +2 cost for the Sanji Pudding instead of Zoro. So there are times when I did verse 2 GP Luffy's, I lost one, and for the one that I lost, I was thinking about using Sakazuki to to pop their Zoro, but I didn't. I kind of wish I had, since that Zoro just kept on hitting me. It just stuck, since I don't really want to swing at board, so it did just stick there. So maybe I should have played Sakazuki. Next is 4 of the 3 cost LIM, where on play I look at top 5 for an Odyssey, and then put the rest at the bottom of my deck. And at end of turn, if I have 3 more rested, then I set this character as active. So this also helps with GP Luffy just swinging and then restanding, and then also like with the 1 cost LIM and the Dofi and this LIM, since you can restand stuff, the enemy won't be able to swing into the character, so they have to swing at life. And I'd rather have them swing at life for me, especially in the early game, just because I don't want to get rid of cards. I do want to go down to life, like 2 life is okay in my opinion, just so they don't just swing big and just ruin my tempo. I do want to get early bodies sticking, just so I can keep on using leader ability for their effects, and then swinging early as well with these big numbers. So yeah, having restand, like especially with this 1 cost LIM, is pretty important. But like if you're going first, it doesn't matter too much, since if they're swinging 9 like on 4 Dawn, then they're just not really establishing anything. And you could do 2-2Ks. I think it's worth doing 2-2Ks to just counter out. So there is that as well. Another 5 cost. I think this is the end for the core of the Odyssey in my opinion, that like you can't really change in terms of the numbers personally. This is the 5 cost Enel, where on play, if I have 2 more rested characters, then I can draw 3 and trash 2 cards from my hand. So it's really nice, especially if you're going first and you see like your Enel and Lim. That's like the main combo, I guess, in terms of getting the most advantages possible in terms of cards. You play, like, I forgot to include a card, Sabo here before I explain for this one. If you have 3 more rested characters, when attacking once per turn, I can draw a card. It's kind of hard to play this card, but like let's say you're going first, you play your 1 cost LIM, and then you can play Sabo. You can restand the Sabo, and then let's say you have like a Nell and LIM to play out. You play your LIM, and then you play your leader ability for a Nell. Now your Sabo is active to swing, but it's like super niche to do. But that's also like a super perfect curve in my opinion. So that's like a crazy curve. Like if you see that, you just see everything. 1 cost LIM into Sabo, into Lim, into Enel, and then into Sakazuki, into like something else. It's just perfect. But like for me personally, I feel like like Enel is like super important to find, just so you can just also filter. Like if you have like too many of these dead cards, you can just filter that, or just find more 2Ks or other pieces that you need. Enel is really good, and then Lim searching as well. And then this 5 cost Sabo, I'm not too sure about running 4. I feel like 2 is okay for me personally. Like he's only good when you find him early. Other than that, he's just pretty much dead weight. So for me, I think 2 is okay for Sabo, since I do want to run more 2Ks, since this leader is pretty susceptible to just dying. So I feel like you need to run a lot of 2Ks. And for some other cards that I put in for this, I did put 2 of the 5 cost Luffy, where on play if I have 2 more rested characters, rest up to one of your opponent's Dawn cards or characters with a cost of 6 or less. So yeah, this is kind of like, I guess, a tech I use for the GP Luffy matchup, where if they don't expect me to have the 5 cost Luffy, then hey, you leave 1 Dawn up for Giant, and then if I have like enough bodies on board, I can just go for lethal. Just rest your giant, your Dawn for Giant, and then you're cooked. And a 4 of that I did put up. It is a 2K as well. It is the Ace. I'm not really too sure how many other people run, but I feel like 4 was really good for me today. So I really like that. I'm keeping this as 4. If I have 2 more rested characters, set up to one of your opponent's character with the cost of rest up to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 5 or less. So this was like really important for me, especially in the Zoro matchup since I couldn't find Newgate. Even Zoro and Lucci, just being able to rest their characters and just punch into them instead of hitting their life has been really important. So it's kind of like a secondary, shittier version of Newgate since it's also just a 5K, but it is a 2K counter. So I'm keeping this as 4. It was really good for me. Other random cards I did put 2 Robins. I'm not really too sure. I might cut her for maybe like Blast Breath or something like that. But what she does is, if I have 2 more rested characters, none of my Odyssey type or Straw Hat type characters can be KO'd by effects until the end of my opponent's next turn. So I did use this against Aluchi, and I won that because of this. But also added it in conjunction with this 3-cost Nami. It is a 2K. I'm running 3 right now, where if I have 2 more rested Odyssey type characters, up to one of your opponent's rested Dawn cards will not be active in your opponent's next refresh phase. So the Lucci character that I versed today, the Lucci player, he was gonna go to 10 Dawn, but I didn't want him to play 10 Kuzan because he's gonna pop stuff. So I played out the Nami first, just so they'd be stuck in 9 Dawn and couldn't play the 10 Kuzan. And then after that, I played the Nico Robin, just so he couldn't pop my other bodies on board with others, with like Jack or Brooke or whatever like that. And it actually really helped since my characters did stick. But like that was like the only time I was able to ever pull off this Robin. So like I don't think I need it. It's just like such a random card. Like thankfully it did work out. I'm happy it worked out, right? Like this card had its use, but other than that, it's just a dead card. Either like it's just counter at the end of the day for like every other matchup. So I don't know how viable it is to keep it at 2. It's just something I might just switch out, since I feel like I'd rather have other stuff like Blast Breath to have that extra 4K counter. But I'm not too sure yet. I think probably I might cut this though. So it's kind of like a flex spot in terms of 2 right here. 3 Nami. I didn't play 4 because I did include the promo audio. I guess like it would be, it took the place of the 4th slot of this Nami. And his effect is just, if I have 2 more rested Odyssey type characters, this character gains 1000 power. So it doesn't say end of turn or whatever like that. It's just 1000 power as long as I have 2 or more rested. So I think if I have less than that, then the plus 1k turns off. But this is just used as an extra 2, as a kind of like if you're going second and you're on 7 Dawn, you could play audio and then a 5 cost as well. But I haven't done that yet, so I'm still not sure about audio. It is a 2K still, so I don't mind. It is like an extra body, a 4/5. So that's why I kept it, just for the sake of like a contingent. If I ever have to pivot or anything like that, just like playing it as a body. But I haven't yet, so I'll keep it for now, since I think 3 Nami is okay. And then this is just an extra attack, so just in case, you never know, right? For the 1 cost, I did play only 8 1 costs today. I did play the Apu, where on play is just rest the character with the cost of 2 or less. I do want to find space to put like 2 more 1 costs, since there were some matches where I didn't see a 1 cost and it really was annoying, since I couldn't activate these character abilities. So I'm trying to see maybe if I can find a place to just like get 2 more 1 costs, like maybe like the Orochi or whatever like that, just for the sake of having a 1 cost, since it's like so important to see. And my last 2k is Usohachi. So right now You probably all know what this does. Just rest the 5 or less if you have 8 or more Dawn. And I have what? 4, 8, 12, 16 2Ks. So I do have a pretty decent amount of 2Ks. And I have 8 bricks in my deck. And then the rest are just 1Ks. So pretty good spread. I wouldn't want to change the ratios in terms of the 2Ks. I want to keep it as, I think, minimum 16. Feels pretty good. Maybe 2 blast breaths for Robin, so that'll be like 10 bricks potentially. I just don't know yet. Yeah. But Usuhachi, I didn't really see play for him, so I'm kind of like in a flex spot for him, where maybe instead of, I could do like 2 Usuhachi, 2 Orochi. I don't know. But like I didn't ever use him in terms of going for game or stuff like that, because what I did in my games was I would swing like let's say I have like Anel, Dofi, and yeah, like let's say I have like Anel and Dofi on board, right? Oh, and then like I'm swinging at their life, and they have like a blocker like a Rebecca or something like that. Then what I would do is I would swing 7 first with a Dawn attack to see what they do. If they swing Rebecca, if they block with the Rebecca, then I can pivot. But if they don't block with Rebecca, what I can do next is either just play like a Newgate with my leader ability for 3 Dawn anyways, or I can just play the Ace, and that's also a body, a 5K body. So that's why I haven't really used Usohachi, and like I feel like I didn't need to play Usohachi either. So he's not as needed in my opinion. I feel like I can cut him down to like 2, but replacing him with like another 2K, it has to be another 2K. But like in terms of like using his ability, I don't really need it since I have other abilities to go off of it. And if anything, just keep 2 or like 3, or yeah, 3 or 3 1. I don't know, but yeah, 16 2Ks. The rest are 1Ks, 8 bricks. I think like overall the deck was not too bad today for me. It just sucked that like I versed 3 Zoros today, and I didn't see Newgate on my opening hands. That's what just like was so annoying, because Newgate is so good into those matchups. Just like popping 3 less and then just swinging at them as well if they are rested. It's just so good. And then for GP, I don't know. Just like it's not. Let's say it's kind of just depends what they have, you know. And if they see stage early, then kind of sucks. But if they don't see stage, then you're cooking, since you just pop their Sanji puddings. That's pretty much it for this deck profile. For the other notable matchups as well, I did first a Red Green Smoker. I was able to get clear their Smoker Tashigi as well with like Newgate to kill their Tashigi, and then afterwards I let them they swung one with Smoker, and then I just popped the Smoker since they didn't have uh, like another Tashigi, and then they bricked after that. So there was that. Another notable, I think I did verse a Blue Doflamingo. It wasn't too bad. Like I was just able to pop as well with like Newgate. Like Newgate is actually like one of the best cards in this deck, to be honest, just because of how versatile he is. You got either pop, well, you can rest and then pop a different character, or rest and then pop the same character if it's a 3 or less. He just has so many uses to it. There wasn't really anything other crazy leaders I would think that I versed against. Just 3 Zoros, a Dofi. I did verse a Teach. Surprisingly, the Teach did not play any Van Augur in his list, so I thought that was kind of interesting. I versed 2 GP Luffy, so 3 Zoro, 1 Smoker, 2 Lushis, I think, 2 Lushis, a Teach. What else? A Dofi, and 2 other leaders that I do not remember. It wasn't anything off meta, but yeah, I probably should have wrote it down, but I just I didn't really know how I was gonna play, so I didn't bother writing it down. But yeah, that's it for this deck profile. I did get 39th at the regional, so just missed the top 32, but at least I'm happy because it's been a while. The last time I ever topped was a while ago. I think I played Gecko Moria. It was a while ago. I was able to get the Yamato top 64. I don't know if that was a treasure cup. I don't really remember. I think it was a region. I don't really know. It was like one of the tournaments though, but it was Yamato, the banished one from Opium One. And yeah, glad to have actually topped in a while, and then with Lim. Lim was fun. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and make sure to hit like and subscribe, and let me. I'll try to post more videos. I don't know. I do go to locals. I do play. I know I just post a lot of unboxings, but you know, opening packs is fun too. But I should record gameplay videos and that stuff. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.